If not, we need a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion by Dr. Robinson, second by Ms. Brill. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Takes us to new business. That's what I thought. BRD2 Academic Advisory Committee request for waiver. Collins, I recommend the board approve Nathan Collins' request for a waiver as provided under Section 112.313, Sub 12 Florida statutes, allowing him to serve on the Academic Advisory Committee while simultaneously contracting with the school district of Palm Beach County. Motion by Mr. Shaw, seconded by Dr. Robinson. Discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. BRD 3, I recommend the board ratify and approve the appointment of the committee members as shown in the membership list of the Board Advisory Committee as submitted. Motion by Dr. Robinson, seconded by Mrs. Andrews. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. BRD 4, I recommend. We already did that one. That'll take it to you, Mr. Superintendent, CAO 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I recommend the board approve the second addendum. No, I read that right. Is that spelled right? Amendment to the Florida Training Services contract effective January 1, 2020 through June 30, 2020, and authorize the superintendent or designee to sign the amendment to the contract.
Motion by Mrs. Andrews, second by Dr. Robinson. Any discussion? Dr. Robinson?
Thank you. I pulled this one to say thank you. I'm really glad to see this additional programming being added, but also to say, can we please find the way for the students at Riviera Beach Prep to be able to participate in these pre-apprenticeship programs? We moved that program from the historic Roosevelt High School site to the old North Tech site, specifically so that they could take advantage of what we will call the CTE programs. And I know what the answer on the test is. I'm asking you to find the way so that these students can participate.
Okay, Dr. Robinson, we will continue to collaborate with Resource Training Services. Currently, it is an adult program, and that's what they have indicated to us. There is an exception, and the exception is that for any of our students that may have decided to, and I don't want to use the terminology of drop out because we don't want them to drop out. We want them to receive their high school diploma, of course. But if a student was to drop out, then of course we will try to encourage the student to get their GED or come over to adult ed. Then once they're enrolled into adult ed, they would be immediately encouraged to participate within that program. We will continue to collaborate with them to see if there is anything else that we could do. We hear you loud and clear in regards to wanting, now that we have the adult ed component onto Riviera Beach Prep's campus, that it will be advantageous and beneficial to our students to have access. Mr. Barch, is there anything else we want to add to that?
No, we're basically following the guidelines right now, and we're using the adult ed funds to educate the adult students, but we will explore opportunities to see if we can expand that out. We've got the resources there. It's just how we pay the instructor to teach the extra classes.
And I will ask Mr. Barch, we will continue to work on this tomorrow and have a response to the board office no later than Monday, by the close of business on Monday.
Mr. Shaw and then Mrs. Andrews.
I think this hopefully can just be a Scribner's issue, but the amendment says North Tech, but we don't have North Tech. And I think you clarified it when you said it was Riviera Beach Prep. So when the final thing is done, if y'all can change that.
Okay. Mrs. Andrews.
And thank you. I'm so proud because I really do love Florida Training Services. They have done an excellent job at West Tech. And I do concur with Dr. Robinson that I do want more programs in the day. We want to reach out for students that's coming from Palm Beach Central and Wellington and Royal Palm Beach High School, those children who may not make it or may need to have another option. The guidance counselors have indicated to me that there needs to be an option, and the closest center would be West Tech. So, Mr. Barch, we've had that conversation at Ms. Sheffield, Dr. Sheffield. So I'm waiting to see you all come back with that wonderful piece.
I will ask Fred to go ahead and schedule a meeting to where I could meet along with Mr. Barch and the team there to see what is it, how we can collaborate and work together for both sites. And again, we will follow with the board office no later than Monday in regards to next steps.
Dr. Robinson?
So just for clarification, I thought that for West Tech, it was operating like as a dual career enrollment with students from Glade Central going to West Tech for the classes. Is that not true?
I can answer that. That is true. That's a different funding source, though, because she does have a construction academy where students are coming over from Pahokee and Glade Central to attend that construction academy, but that is funded separately through K-12 funding.
Okay. And so my request will be, and I appreciate the response, but my request will be, if you don't have the answer by Monday, don't give us the answer. We got to find a solution, which it sounds like it's a funding stream issue, right?
Yes.
So can we solve the problem? Because we either mean it or we don't, right? The children who are in alternative ed, I think this entire board has said this at some point in time, we need to make sure that they develop the skills so that they can go out and get a job and hopefully create their own business one day. And so it is really an insult to me to visit Riviera Beach Prep and see adults on the campus getting these skills, but the kids who are in the front building, who are coming to school, who have already most likely gotten off on the wrong track but decided to come back and try it again, and we say, no, but you can't walk through that door. So we really need to solve that problem. Thank you.
All right, Mrs. Whitfield, if you're still there, whenever you want to speak, since I can't see you, just speak up. Comment.
Thank you so much. I will jump in, I promise.
Okay, COM 10, Mr. Superintendent?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, we didn't take a vote on that.
Okay.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. COM 10?
I recommend the board proclaim February 2020 as Career and Technical Education Month.
Motion by Mrs. Andrews, second by Ms. Brill. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
Did we do COM 9? I got it. I recommend the board proclaim February 2020 as Black History Month.
Motion by Mrs. Andrews, second by Dr. Robinson. Mrs. Andrews?
The opportunity to read the proclamation.
Certainly.
Thank you. Proclamation, Black History Month, February 2020. Whereas the story of African Americans is a story of resilience and perseverance. It is the story of a people who battle against the circumstances under which they were brought to these shores. And it chronicles the generations who fought for an America that truly reflects the ideals enshrined in our founding documents. And whereas Black History Month is a time to remember the slaves who shepherded others along the Underground Railroad on the path to freedom, the preachers who organized against the oppression of Jim Crow, the young people who sat in at lunch counters, the ordinary men and women who took extraordinary risks to change our nation for the better. And whereas we celebrate the rich legacy of African Americans and honor the remarkable contributions they have made to our nation. And whereas this year's national theme is African Americans, and the vote coinciding with the 150th anniversary of the ratification of the 15th Amendment, which stated, "The right of citizens to vote shall not be denied or abridged on account of race, color, or previous conditions of servitude." And whereas during Black History Month, we pay tribute to the contributions of past generations and reaffirm the commitment to keeping the American dream alive for all and the next generation. And whereas, in honor of the men and women who paved the way for subsequent generations and with great expectations for those to follow, let us continue the righteous cause of making America what it should be, a nation that is just and equal for all people. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Superintendent and School Board of Palm Beach County do hereby proclaim February 2020 as Black History Month, done this 19th day of February 2020 in West Palm Beach, Florida. Frank A. Barbieri, Jr., Esquire, Board Chair, Dr. Donald Fenoy, the second Superintendent, and the entire school board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Andrews. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. ELR2, Mr. Superintendent.
ELR2, I recommend the board approve Jeffrey Greenberg 5-day suspension without pay effective to Thursday, March 12th, 2020, subject only to appeal under Section 120.569, FS Section 120.57, and the SEIU FPSU Collective Bargaining Agreement, Article 17, Section 8.
Motion by Ms. Brill, seconded by Mrs. Andrews. Discussion? Dr. Robinson?
Thank you. As much as I hate to say this, I'm going to vote against this because I actually think the consequences should be greater. So this is a bus driver who was, first I didn't know what a WCD was, but okay, a wireless communication device. So I guess he was talking on his cell phone. And he did this in February of 18 and got a written reprimand. Then in April of 18, he had a preventable accident and got a written reprimand. So now he's doing the same thing again in terms of talking on the cell phone and some other infractions. And we're recommending 5 days. And I just don't understand sometimes what we do. I don't see the consistency in what we do. I don't understand how he had a preventable accident and he got a written reprimand. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then it seems that other times, other circumstances, people get more severe. In fact, there's an agenda item for a person who did something definitely wrong, but it was her first offense, and she's getting 10 days. And so I'm just not going to support it. I need some consistency. And I know people are going to tell me all that stuff about case by case and individual circumstances and all that mess, but you had a preventable accident, and you're driving our school bus, and you got a written reprimand, and now you're doing the same thing you did before, more than 2 years ago now, and you're getting 5 days. It's not working for me. It's just not working for me. And I hate to say that I think somebody should lose their job, but it's not working for me.
Any other discussion?
I would like to agree with Dr. Robinson and vote against this item as well.
Okay. Anything else? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 5-2 with Dr. Robinson and Mrs. Whitfield in opposition. FMPA 5, Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, FMPA 5, I recommend the board approve the consultant agreement with Crystal Clear Learning Innovations, LLC, for the period April 1, 2020 through June 11, 2020, and authorize the superintendent board chair to finalize and sign all necessary documents.
Motion by Mrs. Andrews, second by Ms. Brill. Dr. Robinson?
Thank you. So this is an item that is basically giving public dollars to non-public schools, correct? And so I must have been sleeping at the wheel. I tried to vote against all of these when I see public dollars going to non-public schools, but this is the first one I've seen in a little while. So I don't know if I've been sleeping at the wheel or you've been slipping them in on me, but I'm going to vote against this because just on principle. Like, I don't want to deny children anything, but I think it's wrong for public dollars to go to non-public schools.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 6-1 with Dr. Robinson in opposition. P2, Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, sir, I recommend the board approve the personnel addendum as revised.
Motion by Dr. Robinson, second by Mrs. Andrews. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. TL6,
Yes, sir. TL6, open hearing item, K through 12 world language instructional materials introduced for future adoption. There's no vote. There's just for information.
there's no vote on this. Does anybody have anything they want to discuss with respect to those? The books were up in the board office there on the, okay. All right, so we're taking no action on that. That takes us to our non-agenda speakers.